Send your wives to the pool. Send the kids with her. It's hot as shit outside.
It's garage time. Hopefully all the garage timers are on board and ready to go today.
They're probably in the pool too.
Yeah, probably.
Nobody's watching this.
Yeah. So obviously today we have a guest with us, and we're going to kick off garage time, going on garage tours. So we're going to take a video of the shop, add it into the podcast, and make a TikTok of it. So we'll be looking out for that. Probably drop it all Wednesday at the same time.
Probably, yeah. So we teased this the last episode, but basically for our summer we're doing garage time tours. We're going to bring the podcast to you. Look for details on how to get signed up.
Yeah, I like it.
Go from there.
Obviously, Mr. Andy Napier of Napier Roofing here. It's also my boss, so we got to be kind.
Don't hold back.
Don't hold back.
I don't work for him.
We are not clocked in, so
Oh, okay.
no bug.
Yep.
No. I was with this garage tour. Summer officially kicks off.
Yeah, I think I saw today was the first day of summer, right?
Yesterday.
Yesterday was? Yeah.
It felt like it.
It sure did.
Yesterday, that summer solstice, so that was the longest day of the year.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what it is. So.
You know, something else I realized this morning with the first day of summer being today, we got through the entire rec ball season and didn't reschedule a game at all.
That's
Like
even
no
better.
pee-wee, no t-ball, just straight through as scheduled.
And now we're done.
We're done today.
And it's not even the end of June yet.
Yeah, now it's just travel ball. And even that's coming to it.
Yeah. I'm done next week. I got my my tournament next weekend. I'm done before the 4th of July, so you guys are done shortly after. Well, one of Luke's done before.
Yeah, the boys are done the last week of June, and then, well, the girls aren't done until mid-July. So there's a few more girl teams than there are boy teams, but still getting close to an end.
Yeah.
That's good.
Be a generous tipper. So I threw this on here because, well, you brought it up last episode, but Andy and I go to breakfast like every single Saturday for what?
I don't know, at least 7, 8 years probably. It feels like, I don't know, it could be longer.
And it's been a long time. If we don't do it on Saturday, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
But,
And you tip? Or you don't tip?
Well,
we
there's
said-
a big debate. So either if I'm buying, then of course there's always a good tip. And the running joke is, you know, if the waitress comes in, you know, together or separate. And sometimes they'll be like, I got it. And I'm like, well, sorry, you know, you're not going to get a good tip today.
He's a little bit tighter on
No, I don't even know. I mean, he probably does a good job.
I usually try to do 20%.
That's
everywhere I go.
reasonable. Yeah. We've got a good friend who, I think we talked about this March Madness a year ago, who every single time he goes out to eat, no matter what the bill is, no matter where he's at, it's a $5 tip. And we asked him about it. We said, hey man, what's up with the $5 tip? He said, well, my grandpa always told me that's what you leave as a tip. That's probably cool for your grandpa, man, but $5 ain't shit now.
Yeah.
Right, you know?
Yeah. Well, like down at the highway that we go and have breakfast at, so they changed it to where you pay with the card and they have it on there. It's like 10, 15, or 20% or other.
Yeah.
And so always just do whatever the max is. But you know, if you can pay cash, I'm always definitely heavy-handed. Just like, I mean, I don't know. It's just a good thing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're just working off tips, so we want to take care of the community. You know. Have you gone to the more expensive restaurants where gratuities included on the bill?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and most of the time the service is good, so it's warranted, but at the same time, it's like I still want to be in control of that.
Right.
You know.
So let's say you go out to eat and, you know, like we did on vacation last year, and there's a built-in gratuity because of your party size. Do you add on to that gratuity, or just like, hey, you chose your tip, this is your tip?
Well, what if if she goes above and beyond, and I mean, you just have a really good relationship with her in that hour you're there, and taking care of your kids and making you comfortable, making sure you know they're out. I mean, might as well. I mean, and if you're on vacation, you should be.
Oh, you're kind of heavy.
Yeah, you know, you're in that mindset we're spending. Yeah.
So is that the Dinosaur Cafe that you talked about? Is that what it was?
I think that one was a pretty heavy tip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think there was one more that we went to. Did we go to an Outback?
Oh, the first night, yeah.
And there was a gratuity built into that. And most of the time, I'm totally cool with it. Like I said, there's a few times where like it's a buffet. I pay you, you hand me my cup, and I don't see you the rest of the time. I don't want to tip for that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
No.
Obviously, if they've earned it, you give it to them.
Or you leave it on the table for the people cleaning up the dishes.
Yes.
You know, but not. Yeah.
So, and I know, I think I ate with both of you, but when we go out to eat, you stack all your dishes up on the edge of the table, like, you know. So I know some people are like, well, if you do that, you don't need to tip them so much. Dude, that's just keeping your counter clean.
I don't know. I just
Keep it out of your way.
Take
Like, I don't
care.
want dirty plates sitting in front
I
of
just
you.
like to be responsible.
Yeah.
I don't know, clean up after myself.
Right,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like you're doing the job for them, you're just getting it out of the way.
yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't know, you know, when people get talking about tipping or having a good waitress, when I've seen people get nasty because they're having to wait, you know, like the place is swamped, and it's like, have an ounce of humility, put yourself in that person's shoes, how well would you be doing? Just stop thinking about it before you, and then if you don't give them a good tip, I mean, it's like, I don't know, I just don't think that's
Right.
a good thing, good way to be.
90% of the stuff that goes on that's delaying the restaurant had nothing to do with the waitress.
No.
It's usually the
Yeah.
cook.
Don't shoot the messenger here.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Right, like if you hold back on a tip for a waitress because your steak wasn't cooked the way you wanted it to, that's not on a waitress. You know, so yeah, I think most times, and their wages are usually less because
Well, yeah.
they're gonna be earning tip, right?
Yeah.
So
They can work at what, 75% less or something?
Yeah, I think now they do away with having to pay taxes on tip money and everything like that.
I think if it's cash, they don't have to prescribe, they do.
Okay.
Something like that. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is.
I got you.
We've had homeowners tipping the crew before, which is amazing to me because they're paying a lot of money to have this
Oh,
service done, and
Yeah.
you know, which is cool. And I've had a homeowner try to give me the money, and I'm like, no, you just this is for them.
Pass it on, yeah.
Or if they have given it to me, make sure you guys get it. But,
I think the best thing, like, when you talk about the roofers or the crew, like, when they get somebody to bring them cookies or something,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the best tip you can get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let me try these out, and they're usually really good.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, the next one is chasing your goals outside your 9 to 5.
Okay.
So, obviously, doing a 9 to 5, you still want to be chasing your goals, but there's so much to be said about never settling and always working past
Right.
to get your goals met. So obviously, this bringing you in, kind of why I want to hit this. Like, if you would have worked just 9 to 5, building your business,
Mhm.
you wouldn't be where you are.
No, it's. I mean, you're married to it
Right.
to be successful, and you know you have to have a supporting cast with your
Oh.
spouse to be able to see the big picture and be willing
Right.
to sacrifice right along with you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. I mean, I used to take work home with me, and especially when I had the office in the house,
Right.
you never get away from it. You know?
Oh yeah.
So now, you know, I make sure I leave work here. So when I leave here at 5:30, you know, I'm done. I won't answer the phone. It's just like work is in the background. Even though I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about work, how am I going to pay this
Oh,
bill
yeah.
and everything else. But I mean, that's so like, well, I mean, you were like, you know, talk about I work from, you know, I get here at 5 and I'll leave at 5:30.
Right.
Okay, and you get in at 6 or 6:30, depending on the day,
Right.
and you'll leave at times, same time I do at night.
Right.
Or if you leave early, it's because you're going to coach, or your kid's got a game, or you got something with the
Right.
park district. So I mean, you're hustling even more hours. I talked to you the next day. Yeah, I got home like at 9:30. You know, I've been in bed since 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know,
Yeah.
but how do you talk about hustling and reaching your goals after your 9 to 5? I mean, you should be talking to yourself about that.
Oh, I wanted to see, like, I like to see what different avenues people do about it, you know.
5, you're working your job. You don't have time to do the extra reps,
Right.
do the extra learning to try to get better. So it's got to be outside those
Yeah.
hours.
I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, that 9 to 5, you need to be dedicated to who you're working for.
Right.
Make sure you're doing a good job to pay your bills so that you can chase those dreams that you still want.
There's a risk reward too. I mean, because if you dedicate too much time to what you want your life to be at, I mean, depending on what type of job you have now, if you have a family, you have to make sure you don't backstep on the
Right,
current job,
Yeah.
be a detriment, and cause yourself to not have a job.
Right.
And I mean, it was easy for me because this is what I've been doing since I was 18 years old.
Right.
You know, so it's like, this is it. It's either that or, hey, welcome to Walmart. You know, how you doing?
Right.
So,
Just big old dude greets you at Walmart.
Yeah.
I don't need anything.
hey, I will check your receipt. You know.
Yeah, right. That's the receipt.
He just hand grab you. I need that. I think all three of us are pretty successful in whatever we've done to lead us into our next thing is defining success. Obviously, everybody does it differently. We've already kind of hit on this a little bit, but I kind of want to see what your opinion is this? Like, so some people say money, power, wealth, whatever. What in your mind defines success?
Well, for me personally, like if you're using this business, our company, as an example, is, and I've told you before, I didn't set out to do this to try to get rich.
Right.
This is what I knew how to do, and I've evolved from being that hothead young man that I used to be when I was paid to run crews,
Right.
into now being an owner and start having more empathy and understanding for your fellow man.
Right.
So now I'm blessed with being able to provide a place for people to sustain a life here. We've got 16 people working here.
Right.
And for me, it's a huge badge of honor to be able to, I mean, I'm providing for the community, and that's the success for me is I see when these guys are happy, they get paid every Friday, paid holidays off, Christmas bonuses and things like that. And I know this is helping them, and I know that they're spending the money around here.
Right. Yeah.
To me, that's the success.
Mhm.
As long as, and I don't like to rest on my laurels. I always want to be growing this to the next stage.
Right.
And I'm trying to bring the people that help me build this along with me at the same time. So for me, the success is the longevity of having a reputable, admired business. And, we're all about honesty,
Right.
doing the right thing, and that's what we try to preach to the guys in the community. That's what we're about, and that's the success for me.
Yeah.
And being respected, I guess, the respect of it.
So then you measure personal life success differently then?
Yeah, I think the personal life success. I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere where I'm at without Alicia. I mean, this is.
Right.
I mean, without her, I don't even know what I would do. I don't know. It wouldn't be anything. But I've been fortunate to be able to be a father to 3 boys that, they're my stepsons, but they're my sons.
Right.
And bring them up and try to give them good values. And that was just that's the success. I mean, they're better than I am. They've all graduated high school. We got
Right.
one boy going to college. None of them ever been in trouble with the law. They're
Yeah.
good, moral kids. And so that's the success, the proud, because, I mean, everybody's had a hard life at some point in their life,
Mhm.
You can compare apples to oranges all day
Yeah.
long, but to have the opportunity to be a good dad, because, I mean, I have 2 other kids, older
Right.
from previous marriage, and it's like, I'm a much better father now than I was then, because of, I think, just the age and the wisdom that comes along with everything.
Oh, 100%.
So the success is having that connection with my spouse, and the trust that we have with each other, and knowing that we have each other's back without question.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's just, I don't take her for granted, she doesn't take me for granted, and it's
Yeah.
great, yeah.
Well, it's definitely easier when you have a supportive home life.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
in anything you do. It doesn't mean whether it's just as simple as keeping the yard up to growing the business. When you have a supportive cast, it goes a long ways.
Yeah, talking about keeping the yard up, anyway.
Well, we've had like 8 inches of rain in the last 3 weeks, so.
Right.
No.
Well, that's the other thing. So I think, you kind of hit on it. The success, it differs depending on what you're talking about. Personal life, work,
Right.
and it's personal. My idea of success probably isn't the same as your idea, probably not the same as your idea. But I think it changes throughout life. Too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
Oh, yeah.
10 years ago, success for me might have been polishing off a 30 rack and getting back home. But success now, your career, your kids,
Yeah.
seeing them grow up and be better than you, coaching, volunteering,
Right.
it changes, and probably even as we all get older, it's probably what's your legacy, what are you leaving behind, stuff
Sure.
like that.
Well, I mean, we talk about evolving, what's successful, and so I'm kind of, I'll be 54 this year, so now I need to, got the kid going to college, so hey, done my job there,
Mhm.
marriage is rock solid, so now I have to think about, well, what's happening in retirement?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? So I guess I need to start thinking about reaching some type of goal there, but how do I do that without, I don't wanna take anything away from
Somewhere else.
somewhere else,
Yeah.
because it takes everything to keep all of this going.
Oh, it does, yeah.
So,
For now. For
yeah.
now.
I mean, he's all about investments. He's been talking about that for eons with me, you know. And I guess I just don't make the time to sit down and make it happen.
Well, your priorities are a little different right now, you know, obviously with the expansion of the company, but,
Yeah.
you know, next year or so, you'll kind of revisit that and it'll become a priority.
Yeah. How much different? I mean, you're a little. What are you, 5 or 6 years older than Devin? What?
I'll be. Oh man, here we go.
So he's
I can
33.
start looking up my age before I come in here. So I'll be 36 in August. So yeah, a couple years older. And for me, like, I think my biggest thing right now, and has been for a long time, is just part of who I am. I don't want to be stagnant. You know, where you're thinking about, always trying to think about what's the next step, what am I going to do with my business. I'm kind of the same way. Like, I am never content.
Right.
Like, one of the biggest promises that I made my wife in the last year is a year ago I finished up the NP program and I get a job, and my wife looks at me and she goes, "You don't do anything else for 1 year." She's like, "You don't pick up anything else to learn, you don't go back to school, you don't change jobs, it is up." And she's like, "For 1 year, just do what you're going to do." You know, and even then there's little things you can do, you know, but I don't like to feel like I've settled. You know, there's always room for improvement, and even if it's not professionally, how can I be a better coach? How can I be a better person? How can I be a better dad? How can I make a podcast that people actually want to watch? Man,
Yeah, if I can catch a face out.
that would help a lot. Yeah, honestly.
I don't know, you wanted a different shirt today, so that's good. I wore the same one for like 6 episodes, so.
I got a little bit self-conscious about that after you pointed it out, so thank you. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm watching the same episode again. Kyle's wearing the same shirt. So, yeah.
He does have one for you.
Well, I would go shirtless, but then nobody would watch. So.
There's always somebody for somebody.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right, that's true.
Oh boy. Well, enjoy the time with your kids. I mean, now that we're almost empty nesters, it's amazing how much I look back and miss everything that I always took for granted when they were little.
Right.
Oh,
You know, everybody in the living room, we're all watching a show together. Kids, they all got their own bowl of popcorn. You know, just all the little things that added up. Actually, when our kids still like us, I think they do. But you know, I mean, so enjoy it. Don't take it for granted. Do the most with it. You know.
and it goes quick. I mean, I just sent you a message earlier, you know, and wrapped up, handed out our medals for our coach pitch season, and I stood there and I thought, man, that's it. Like, after 10 years, I'm not coaching youth baseball anymore. Like, I'm doing travel teams, but my youngest now has gotten through the program. Next year he'll start travel baseball, and I thought, damn, like, that just kind of snuck up on me,
Right.
you know. So it happens quick.
Well, you got both of it. So, like, you have a stepdaughter who's
Yeah,
21,
she's
22.
22.
Yeah. So you've seen both sides of it already, and you're only 36. You know, like that's quick. You know.
Well, it is, and like I said, you know, I think at some point during one of these episodes we mentioned, you know, my stepdaughter, when I first came into her life, she was younger than Bentley is now.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I think about that, and then I look at her now at 22, and I'm like, ooh, you know, where did that go?
Right.
So, and a blink of an eye, it'll be the next one, you know. So it goes quick.
Yeah. So one of my big things I define my success on is, and I'm forever grateful I have you to let me do this, but being able to leave work and go take care of my kids or do anything that I need to do, help the park out, because not everybody can do that. You know,
Right.
most people, they're stuck in a factory and that's it.
Well, that's my biggest stress in life right now. So, I mean, I think that is success.
Right, you know, so when I can say, hey, like, I need 5 minutes, I'm gonna go do this, you know, my kid's sick, or I need to run to the school, and he's like, yeah, you know, go do it. And there's days I feel guilty for leaving the coach, because there's 3 crews out working, and he's still here, and I'm like,
Right.
he's like, you'll make it up, you know, you'll get it back, and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, you know, and to me, that's huge success, like, and it has no dollar figure to it, it has, I mean, just being able to be there for my kids, so.
But you know, and that applies to everybody that works here. So we've always been like,
Right.
it's about family.
Family oriented,
Boom.
yeah.
It's, I mean, we're very lenient on a lot of things when it comes to that. If it's about your family, you got to bless them and take care of it. It's
Right.
priority one, you know.
That's the time you can't get back.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So,
No, and, you know, 1 through 16, all our employees busted butt, you know, so. they're doing really well. The growth is going good. So being able to do that and still, hey, go take care of the family, it's been good. So.
Well, I mean, just look at yesterday. I mean, here they had, I don't know, probably 20 square they had to get tore off and put back in, not just straight shot, but cut up valleys and flashing holes and everything. And we had rain 80% of the day yesterday, and they stuck it out and roofed in between the little brief windows we had. I mean, very grateful and thankful they did that. I mean, part of the driving factor, they didn't want to work today.
Right.
But hey, whatever, it's all good. I still appreciate it.
Not looking Saturday.
Hey, whatever the drive is.
That's it. Yeah. And then you hear the rant and rave from the homeowners. Oh, such a great crew. They did so polite. Did a great job protecting our plants. And that's the little things that I like that they take care of people. Anyways, but
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Moving on to sports.
All right, let's do it.
Cubbies. How are we looking today? Have you looked it up?
1
lately?
today, 10-7. Rubber game will be tomorrow.
So, well, my cousin beat us last night.
Yeah, Raleigh beat the shit out of
Not
us.
really my cousin, but Cal Raleigh plays for Seattle
Okay.
Mariners.
Okay.
Leading the league in home runs, so I know he gets it from.
He had like 10 bases last night, dude.
What's that?
He had like 10 bases last night. 2
Yeah.
home runs. Yeah,
Yeah.
double. Yeah,
Double.
crazy.
So and he's a big dude, so they call him the Big Dumper. Yeah. So I'm like, run to the family.
I think I
Yeah,
saw.
no, it means you're full of shit.
Right?
Whatever works.
I think I saw something last night where it was like the quickest that a catcher has gotten to
Yeah.
28 or whatever home runs in all time, which I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they're going to find a stat to make anything sound good. Like, this is the best Tuesday record of any pitcher of all time. Like, okay.
Well, see, then that's the thing everybody talks about, the LeBron stat.
Right.
When they make up these stats and cherry pick them, and it's,
Oh, you can
it's a
find
LeBron
things.
stat. That's what they started doing with LeBron. Now they do it for everybody.
Oh, Caitlin Clark. I mean, not dog, he's a great player and all that, but
Right.
anyways.
You know, so when you see that, oh yeah, this guy's okay. Well, it's a different game than it was 15, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's talk about the legendary thing that happened at Wrigley yesterday.
All right, go ahead. Put it out
The
there.
return of Sammy Sosa
Yeah, that
to
was
Wrigley
pretty cool.
Field after 21 years. I actually had a buddy of mine who I have a Snapchat streak with. Like, yeah, I got a ticket to go up there. I'm like, oh, dude, so jealous.
That's
Of
awesome.
course, you didn't know Sammy was going to be there, so
Right.
that adds to it. And then he's like, oh, yeah, even better, ticket for free. I'm like, piss off.
And I thought it was cool. I saw a video of Sammy Sosa and the PCA doing like a fan thing, and I thought that was cool, like the 2 generations coming together.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
yeah, it was cool to see Sosa there.
What would have been awesome is if they let him take his legendary run out to right field.
They needed his bat yesterday. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we kind of went cold. Not a good way to welcome Sammy back, but you know,
Seattle's a damn good team, though.
yeah, they are. They are.
You know, and like I said, we won today. We got the rubber game tomorrow. This is being filmed on Saturday, just for anybody that wants to check us. I actually haven't looked ahead yet, so go ahead and say whatever you want to say about the Cubs. I'm gonna look at the next week.
So one of my favorite things about Sammy was the hop. He hit his home run. He had that too.
Right. The home run race with McGuire and
That was
stuff.
good.
And then Barry Bonds in there, and so I mean, it was a good, fun time.
But
Other than the Cardinals being so damn good.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. But let's get into something you would like to talk about. More NFL stuff. Obviously, there's not a lot going on, but the big talk is Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I really don't think about Aaron Rodgers, or I try not to.
Yeah. No.
But
Well, I mean, okay.
okay, so he's got 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
We got
the
two
final-
Bears fans here. So
Yeah,
Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers is pissing you
I
guys
mean,
off.
it's a waste of time and money and resources, in my opinion. If
Yeah.
you can take that money and invest it in a younger quarterback, I don't know what's the salary. What's he getting? Is it 30? It's not 30 million, is it?
No, it's
What's he
cheap.
getting?
It's
It's
10.
pretty cheap. Yeah, it's like 10.
10.
10.
Well, it's not bad, you know. It's not a terrible
And
salary.
hey, maybe he'll come in and be a baller and just take it all away. But
I mean, the articles I've read on him being out there, he's taking a different stance to being
a better leader.
A mentor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Versus trying to be in there and I'm
be
going to
the
start
guy.
every single game.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Tom Brady.
Right.
No.
Never has been. So.
I mean,
I mean, he's been decent, but
I will say early on in his career, there was a time that I said if it wasn't for the fact that he played on the Packers, I'd really like Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
And then he got super selfish, super cocky,
Right.
and I was like, okay,
I own you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
And then the whole darkness retreat and all of this shit, I was like, okay, this guy's an idiot. But I don't think at any point in his career, I mean, I've never heard Jordan Love talk about, I've never heard any of the other young quarterbacks with the Packers talk about how he was a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how Pittsburgh brings him in and expects us to be
Oh,
different.
yeah, exactly.
Because they've got Will Howard that they just drafted.
And Randolph, isn't he back there as a backup again?
I think Randolph's still there. Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph.
But is he going to put enough of his ego aside to help anybody else? I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I wonder what his relationship is with the coach.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Tomlin has a knack for being able to keep guys that are crazy under control.
Yeah,
I mean,
several on there.
So,
Unless
yeah, I
they're
mean,
the wide
in terms
receiver.
of usually it's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Typically, you know, I mean, he kept AB in check for a long time.
He did. And Claypool and all these other,
Right.
you know, Deontay Johnson, all these other wide receivers that were at least mild-mannered in Pittsburgh and then went somewhere else and showed their ass.
Right.
So I'll give him that. But
What do you think?
I think he could do great, personally. I think I have a feeling that Tomlin probably is going to turn him around, or at least for a year, be like, hey, like, you're with us. We don't fuck around in this shit.
Who do they have for a run sport?
You know.
Who's the running backs?
They just drafted Iowa's running back,
yeah, Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson. So he's a bruiser, which they kind of have that in Harris. And then who's the other one that's taken off?
I don't remember.
Dang it, the guy that split carries with Harris.
Right.
But yeah, they had a decent run cast, so it wouldn't be bad. I thought they were going to look really good when they had Metcalf and Pickens, but of course they traded Pickens away. So
Yeah, where do we end up?
Dallas, is that right?
Uh-oh.
Was it Dallas?
I think we'll let's Google real quick. I'm pretty sure it's Dallas, but I thought going into this, like, man, it's a good situation for a quarterback to have.
Isn't Dak Prescott the highest paid
He did
player
go
right
to
now?
Dallas.
Did he go Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that's what the other bad thing about it is, and I'm not saying there's a bad signing or whatever, because Tomlin, he's never had a losing season, so he knows what he's doing.
That's true.
That's a tough division.
Oh, it is.
I mean, that of all the places that you want to go and try to ride off into the sunset, I don't know that that's the one I would go to.
I don't think anybody else wanted him.
I don't think so either.
I mean, I would have tried to take a shot at the NFC South. Everybody there sucks.
Yeah, but nobody wants that quarterback.
Right.
And fuck you.
Who's the quarterback for your Carolina Panthers?
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So
He's turned,
this is gonna be his year.
Yeah.
Yeah, good soft.
He's either gonna get it this year or not. This is year 3.
he definitely has talent. He was on the line.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's always a question of the smaller frame.
But
Right.
now I'm biased because I mean we should never got rid of Cam and we should have kept do
As
it.
great as Cam
No.
was, I mean, everybody gets old.
Yeah.
If you take as many hits as he did.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. Yeah, like
And that's the thing I always think about these running quarterbacks, and especially Cam, who would literally put his body on the line. It's not going to last forever.
no.
Sooner or later, they've got to learn to settle down and throw from the pocket, or their career's short.
Yeah. Well, even Lamar Jackson's changed his game.
But, yeah, I mean he did. I think he can last forever because he runs out of bounds, he slides.
He's a hell of a passer.
Yeah, he doesn't try to. I mean, I should say he doesn't try to fight for the extra yard, but he doesn't do it. And I'm gonna win you over kind of.
But it's there when he needs it. That's the thing.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I think he's intelligent enough. He's doing
Exactly.
situational, not just instead of going all through all your reads. He's not just dumping after the first read and then just reacting
Right.
and looking. I mean, he's
Yeah.
going through the progression
Right.
and doing
Yeah.
making the smart plays. So
I will say I think with Lamar, he has a really good coach,
Yeah.
and that helps out a lot. I mean, obviously, if you go to a team that has a good coach and you coach well from the beginning, that does tremendous things.
now, didn't Derrick Henry go there to the Ravens?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's there too.
is he still?
Yeah.
I mean, there was they signed Alexander
Mhm.
this past week. I think Baltimore is poised to make it to the AFC Championship game. So
I
I mean, they had a window. It's their,
right. And the AFC is just stacked. That's the thing.
really is. Yeah.
When you look at Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincy always has that opportunity to get hot. Kansas City is well coached. They have the opportunity, even though I think we're kind of
Cincinnati.
getting into that window. Yeah. Fuck, who else is out there? Not. I was trying to think about the other division.
Chargers.
Chargers, yeah, the Chargers would be a good one. I think Denver's going to take another step this
Oh,
year.
yeah, they will be. And
So-
that's all in the AFC West with the Chiefs. I mean,
Right.
that whole division is going to be tough this
Now
year.
Harbaugh's coaching the Chargers, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, he's a pretty good coach. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, I always thought he was.
Last year was his first year since out of Michigan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
So
I
now
think-
he's had a whole year through
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
He's gotten his own off season in. I think Chargers will make a splash.
I feel bad for Joe Burrow though.
Oh,
Just to have the stats you have.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he's a winner. Regardless of, but
Well, I mean, but they're dumping all that money into the offense and nothing into the defense.
right.
You have the top 3 highest paid like running your wide receiver room. You know, like
Mhm.
Chase, Higgins, and who's the other one?
Yeah, I
Who's
don't
the
know.
third one? But anyway, yeah, they're all 3 very well paid. It's
Right.
like, Lord, if you put someone on the defensive side of the ball, you might actually win some games.
Yeah.
You know.
So what do you think keeps getting in Buffalo's way?
I don't know what's wrong with Buffalo. They've got every piece there. Josh Allen is one of those players that, unlike Lamar, is going to fight for the extra yard even when you don't need it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen scares me to death. As a coach, watching him hurdle somebody for a 2-yard play, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what more Buffalo can do to get over the hump, honestly. And the same with Dallas. You look at these teams and you're like, if you're a coach, what do you fix? You know, who the hell do you sign to help Dallas?
On paper, Dallas is one of the best teams in the league.
I don't get it. And you can come back to Dak Prescott. Most people do.
Right.
But still, when you look at that roster, they are just stacked.
Yeah.
Well, they're coaching now, so we're got rid of McCarthy. And-
Right, that's true. They did
And
get
so
rid of
they hired somebody, I can't remember his name, but it was
Yeah.
nobody that thought he should be in there.
Right.
Who was it? What's his, trying to think of the coach's name.
Shoot.
It's
Yeah,
not
good
the
shot
shot
real quick.
is it? No.
Well, and especially, again, in a tough division, but Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Schottenheimer, there you go. Oh yeah, I mean you got Washington, who's going to be really good. Jaden Daniel played lights out last year. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very surprising. I didn't expect any of that, but.
No, me neither. You know, I didn't think he was the best quarterback in that class, and he definitely was his rookie year. So, which nobody has tape on a rookie, but I mean, he was doing things, making passes that most of them don't make it real ones. So,
Right.
and obviously Philly's going to be tough, regardless.
Why haven't we brought the Bears? Awesome they're gonna be.
Well, we haven't got that far yet.
They're another team. They're another team that you look at the Bears and you're like, they should be winning.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
we'll give it. Again, play calling was a little bit questionable the last couple of years. I'm hoping that with Ben Johnson there's going to be some changes. But they've got all the pieces. The Bears really do.
That's also another tough division, though.
It is. but I
Minnesota's
think-
good. Detroit's damn good.
I think Detroit's window is closing. I mean,
Oh, I would say so.
you know, Goff is not young. They had injuries stack up on defense last year. Minnesota's going to all rely on J.J. McCarthy. You know, what's he going to do?
But
Green Bay, I mean, they're good, but I don't look at them as a powerhouse in the NFC.
but they're going to bring every game they got to you.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know, so I mean,
Well, the rivalry games are always tough.
Right.
I mean,
like yeah,
there's
you
never.
got to play one at Lambeau and one at home. You probably odds are splitting it. You know, Jordan Love is. I mean, he's been a baller. He's done a lot better than I thought he was going to do.
He was hurt some of the last year, wasn't he?
I feel like that's right. Like,
Yeah.
right there in the middle of the season somewhere, maybe. And then who else is in that division? You got one more.
That was it. Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, to me that's a tough division. Like, you know, you got some very good defenses out there.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think Sanders having an actual opportunity to be able to be a starting quarterback?
Right.
It's the Browns, correct?
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, if you're Cleveland and you're playing Deshaun Watson, you're stupid.
Right, I don't think you play Watson, and I don't think you stick with Pickett very long, obviously. Flacco's just there to be a mentor. But
They also got Dylan Gabriel though too.
right. And that's the one thing I was thinking though, and I don't know if it's just the media trying to cover Sanders more, but I've not heard shit about Dylan Gabriel
No.
so far. And there's stories every day about Sanders. So it seems like he's the fan favorite to get it. It seems like if you trust the media, he's having the best training camp. But who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Sanders will. I would expect to see him by the halfway mark if he's starting. You know, he's got the reason to have the most drive. I mean, he fell so far in the draft, so now he's gonna be. I'm not gonna prove myself. I have to prove it.
Yeah.
You know?
So is Kansas City done?
I think they're getting there. I mean, I think they always have a fighting chance as long as they have Andy Reid, and I think Mahomes is one of those players that just always tends to get something done. But yeah, I feel like their window's got to be closing.
And their defense is good. They got a great defensive Spagnuolo or whatever it is. He's a great defensive coordinator.
Is Kelsey coming back?
I think this is the year Kelsey rejuvenates himself. He's not going to be happy with the way he played last year.
I wouldn't think so.
You know, he's going to come back. I think he's only got a year or two left on his contract. I wouldn't think he's going to re-up, but he's going to want to go out on top. You know.
Well, and I've not seen a team be shut down offensively so bad in the Super Bowl since, no offense, but Carolina versus Denver.
Right.
I mean, that Super Bowl was very defense heavy, and that's the way this felt. Is Kansas City just couldn't do anything.
Right.
You know, and I look for them to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
But,
You're going to want to. I mean, you're not going to want that to be the ending of the legacy, you know, so to speak. I've got to go out in about a year or so.
Saquon Barkley's the man now.
oh yeah.
Jeez.
He's phenomenal. I mean, a backward hurdle. That's athlete right there.
Yeah. Eat Campbell soup.
Right, no kidding. So I'm gonna start stocking up my pantry
Right.
to watch me for Sports Center now.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's the only thing.
You jump over your shoes.
Kind of trip over the line on the flank here.
You know the best part of that whole Madden cover, which was Barkley doing the backwards hurdle, is the guy that he did it to in the game. They brought in and continuously filmed until they got the right shot.
Right.
So the defender got to relive that moment too,
Oh man.
over and over again.
Okay, I made it.
Right.
Yeah, but nobody's talking about you.
You're not
Golfing. We all do it. What is your favorite shot to try to attempt in golf? You know, you got a pretty good chip game.
That's what I
You know.
want to be successful.
I haven't golfed with you, so I don't know what you have. But
I also would say the chip game, only because my drives are so inconsistent, and putting, I sometimes get a terrible lead at the green, but for some reason chipping, like that's where I really, like you said, where I want to be good at. So
Yeah.
well, that satisfaction from getting a good chip and just landing on the green. That's
Well,
what, you know.
I mean, because you can have a bad drive and still recover with a long iron,
Right.
something to get yourself into where you use your pitching wedge or
Right.
9-iron, wherever you're at.
Right.
But yeah, to have that skill, because it's more to feel to me. It's not
Mhm.
just just going full. For me, it's hands how
Right.
how you do it.
Right.
Get that
More
perfect little run.
Right, I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Another, it's awesome that it's only happened a couple times where I've been like 80 yards out and pulled out.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like total fluke, but another time.
Who saw that?
Well, one time I think Baker was with me, and sun it was after work, so it was sun was kind of coming down, and I think it was on hole 8 out here at Shaw Creek, and it's just on the other side of the creek
Oh,
there.
right. Yeah.
Pulled out my pitching wedge, and it was kind of a 3/4 shot, so boom, hit it, and he's behind me. Sun's coming, I couldn't see. He's like, it went in. I'm like, I couldn't see it, oh, it's awful. I wish I would have seen it and go in
Right,
but
yeah.
so it's pretty awesome. That's what keeps you coming back.
Right.
Where that one time you hit that perfect drive and all your buddies duff it, and you're like, yeah, I'm the man.
Choke that out.
Right.
Well, and I think the other good thing about chipping is, like, for me, one of the worst feelings when you're golfing is to go for a chip or something and overshoot the green, and you're like, God damn it, now I gotta do it over there.
Yeah, I gotta hit it back.
Yeah, I gotta hit it
Yeah.
back.
Or blade it, and it just turns into a skip across the ring.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
This guy gets in his own way in between the ears when he's playing. That's like, he's better if he just walks up and just goes and does it instead of he'll start thinking, well, I better turn this way. It's like,
Yeah, I would say
walk
for
up and
me,
hit, you do good.
my short game's terrible. I mean, there are days I get on, I'm decent, but there's no consistency to it.
Gotcha.
Like you said, I get up, I'm like, okay, last time I went this way, so I need to do this, and then I'm like, oh, that was way off, you know. It's like, oh, I did was turn like 2 inches, you know, and I hit it the other course, you know. But I would say my drive, like that's when I feel the most comfortable. But if I get up there, my first drive shit, my whole golf game gonna be shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, might as well turn around and leave, you know.
How do you hit a 3-wood good, like off the deck, you know?
Yeah, I mean, pretty decent.
That's one I wish I could have more consistent. It's like,
Yeah.
when I do hit it, it's like, this is the best shot in the world.
Right.
But otherwise, it's a complete nightmare.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Oh,
just
yeah.
stuff.
Going everywhere.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no point in that to be
You
sure.
did a lot of putt golf.
I actually used to do a lot of putt-putt golf because, well, I told you I used to play golf a lot, and I noticed that putting was something that I had an issue with. So I would hit ball 4 2-3 times a week and just go through putting,
Right.
and it wouldn't be so much like, because you know you play the same miniature golf course, you're like, okay, I'll kick it off here, it's gonna roll around here, but putting yourself in those difficult positions,
Right.
where like, you know, I'm gonna try to leave myself a lie where I really got to try to get it here. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the right ball speed, pace on the ball, that's
Yeah.
a nice thing to be able to control, or be able to, you know, read, I guess.
Well, that's the biggest thing about you mentioned putting. Like, you go to one course, greens are hard, ball goes fast.
Oh, yeah.
You go to another course that's watered down, the ball barely moves. Like, finding that touch of the green, that could be a challenge in itself.
It definitely can be.
But so putt golf, we went last summer, right?
Mhm.
You know, did you win that?
I think I did.
I think you did.
Yeah, I think I had a couple of holes in one.
Oh,
that helped. Yeah.
Cheated because he was.
You went and he beat you?
Yeah, well, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
He was 3 things ahead of me. Hole in one, I'm like, oh, nobody saw it. Oh, no, go figure. I had no idea.
Well, that's got all the kids were playing too, so we had like what, freaking
Yeah, it was.
12 people
Yeah.
trying to run through the course.
Yeah, I was trying to keep the kid hurdle. He only beat by 2, maybe. So, but
It was a really nice course though.
yeah, but we smoked him for the holes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think
Actually, yeah, your wife was actually.
I was gonna say I think she did fairly well.
You know, she was keeping up with us for a little bit, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit!" When we got her over,
Yeah.
she had one that was
You
like,
get beat by, does that bother you getting beat by a girl?
"Nah, I don't really care."
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
My competitiveness is dying. Like,
Is it?
I don't care. Like, I'm out there for the memory and to have fun.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
of course, if I let my wife win, I might, get lucky.
I
Maybe.
So that's more important than winning to me.
All right then.
Now, it might change when I'm older and it doesn't matter anyway. But
What do you, it still matters. when you're older. Jeez.
Doesn't matter.
so.
You said pills now.
All right, let's get on to the GTR. So I see this today on something on Facebook or TikTok. But society is built to want people to fail,
Mm-hmm.
and most people want people to fail. Why do we think that is?
I think it makes people feel better about themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
to see other
100%.
people fail.
Yeah.
You know, and look, you've seen that video of the cheese wheel going down the hill and everybody chasing it and tripping and going head over heels. I like to see them fail, but otherwise, I'm not I don't want to see people fail. It doesn't make me any better to see somebody else not
Right.
succeed. But you're right. I mean, I think especially when it comes to the media, everybody wants to see the negative stuff.
Right.
And I don't know why that is. What do you think?
I think it's that gratification, like, well, I suck at my life, so does this guy, so we're all good,
Yeah.
But my thing is there's so many people out there that want guys have kids, people have kids to fail. It's like, if they fail, they can't raise their kids, so why would you want that? You want them to be able to provide and raise their kids in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to live off the state or any of that stuff, or, even if it's just simple as failing, like, I don't want you to get that job because I want you to have a better job than me.
Right.
There's so many different things out there, and I think social media made it worse,
Oh yeah.
like, everybody puts, hey, look at me out there, and, always talk about grass being green on the other side, but nobody waters the grass.
Right.
It's like, if you just take care of what you have, it's gonna be fine.
Well, on the flip side of that, one of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody will look at you achieve something. You do something and you're not even looking for recognition. You're just like, hey, I did this. And somebody will be like, must be nice.
Oh, yeah.
That drives me crazy.
Right.
Like, you want to be like, it is nice, man, but you didn't see the work I put into this. You didn't
Exactly,
see everything
yeah.
I led to this point. And I don't know.
I know that's what we're big on, is not the whole patting on the back thing. He was
Yeah.
like,
I just, yeah, don't beat your chest, man. Let your actions speak for yourself. You know,
Right.
I mean, it's, yes, internally, do I want that satisfaction of somebody recognizing the hard work and the achievements? Yeah, but I'm not willing to be like, well, look what I could do. And I don't want to be, I'm not better than anybody else, and I don't want anybody to feel that way ever.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's just,
yeah.
I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So,
Well, that's good because I am. So.
well, yeah,
Yes, there it
we
is.
know. I hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that goes into sports too.
Right.
You know, like
Oh yeah. Right.
touchdown, home run, like act like you've been there before.
That,
You know,
yeah,
like,
that's,
come on.
yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing I think of changing so much is everybody's like the taunting getting penalized because nobody can ever just make a three or just hit the home run. It's always got to be up in your face. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's one thing to be, I mean, in a sports, I mean, you know, testosterone's going, you're in the moment, you know, you gotta be clutch, and you do it.
but
Absolutely, you wanna celebrate that, celebrate in a classy way with your teammates,
but
or with the people that got you there. Don't bust on another guy,
Well,
unless,
that's-
but you know, there's a whole other side of that. Has that guy been talking crap the entire time? Hey, you're a punk, you're a loser, I'm gonna smoke you, this, that, and then you finally, yeah, in your face, bitch, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, does that happen, you know? That could be the situation too,
yeah,
so.
you know,
Well, I think,
Have all the information before you make the decision.
Right.
Judgment, yeah.
oh yeah, I think one of the things in recent years, I think it was 2 years ago, if you remember Chase Claypool, I think the Steelers were playing maybe the Ravens, and they were down by 8 points, clock's ticking, he gets a first down, and he holds the ball up and signals the first down, and
Mhm.
clock runs out and the game's over. It's like, dude,
yeah.
what are you doing
Yeah.
here? You know, so,
Yeah.
but I mean, I guess we got sidetracked a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. We always get sidetracked.
My favorite, the one last thing for sports wise, guys running to the touchdown with the ball, drops the
yes.
ball right before he goes over. It's
Yeah.
like you,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that guy would be running, I mean, that nonstop, dude.
Oh.
You're running 100 yards, carrying that ball,
Yeah.
you're not dropping it. Yeah, that's all you're doing for the next week.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You're learning a lesson.
Especially when they're at that big of a level. Like, that should never happen there.
No.
Right.
Alright, so obviously it's gonna be hot the next few days. None of us are probably gonna be outside. Might be inside watching a TV or a movie. So, what is your go to snack while you're watching TV the next few days?
Hmm.
You're a popcorn guy, we eat some chocolate.
I like popcorn, almonds, big on almonds personally. But popcorn, I like popcorn.
I know you eat everything.
It's like, open up the fridge, grab something.
You know, yeah, I don't, chips and salsa,
Oh, you gotta.
jelly beans, chocolate. You know, I'm big. I love hot dogs. I'll put down 5 or 6 hot dogs on a plate.
That's a snack.
It can be.
Oh, man. I love it. Yeah.
No, yeah, ice cream. If we have ice, yeah, if we have sweets in the house, at some point I will eat them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just.
Well, I know you told me days I'm coming to work next morning, dude, I'm gonna keep dollars jumping out to work and I bought this, this, and this, and this, and ate them all.
Yeah, I can't. You think? I mean, mentally, I think I have willpower, but it's like if it was within reach, I'm like, man. I look at myself. I'm not fixing this, you know.
We're so far gone here.
Yeah, no, but it's just like, well, we got, you know, we have a fridge here in our, you know, our kitchen here, and we've got a case of water down there, and then there's like 3 or 4 12 packs of soda in there. And we're just like, if it's there,
You do.
I'm gonna drink it. Now,
Right.
if I didn't have anything but the case of water there, that's what I'm drinking.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just,
Yeah. It's just that's what I've gotten away from, like keeping soda in the house. I used to be bad about it. Now I'm like keeping tea or lemonade.
Yeah.
I find myself drinking that more now. It's like, then I'm like, oh man, I really need a Mountain Dew, but too lazy to leave the house to go get it. So then I just wait till it's there, you know. But,
Yeah.
my favorite sweet probably ice cream.
yeah.
I
You
think-
say, yeah, you were saying you eat ice cream.
Yeah, that'd be like, it's harder to keep in the house because freezer in the house isn't big enough,
Mhm.
and it's full of ice and you know pizza rolls and pizza and all that stuff. So
Well, just gotta hurry up, eat the pizza rolls, and you have more room.
like, there you go.
Slide all your ice
There
cream.
you go.
Be good.
My wife bought a 130 count pack of pizza rolls, so it's gonna take a little bit to eat those.
Maybe, it depends
Yeah.
how big your pan is.
Oh man, you think you can eat that many in a couple of days? Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Here we go.
I used to get those, was it the Frito-Lay, jalapeno cheddar cheese dips?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cook up all the pizza rolls. When I was a single man years and years ago, just glutton. You
Yeah,
know.
just dip it in
Yeah,
there.
oh yeah, just eat a
Oh,
whole,
yeah.
whole 40 count bag, sit there.
Phew.
12 pack of tacos, couple pizzas, whatever.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
And I mean, pizza rolls is one of those things where you might like put your plate in the sink, like I'm done. But if they're sitting on the stove, you're walking by, like grabbing a few.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
still there. So,
Pizza roll, tater tots, French fries, all that kind of
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
in that way. Like,
chicken
oh, these
rolls.
are still sitting there. Yeah. So yeah, no, my favorite
Ice
is
cream.
ice cream. So
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream?
chocolate.
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 Probably mint chip is my favorite.
That is my favorite. Is mint
But
chip.
Yeah.
if I keep it in the house, it's getting eaten one night.
And it's hard to find around here.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, that's true.
I found over here at the Dollar General they had whatever brand it was. It was all right, but
But not a good brand.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah. No, I think we actually talked about ice creams
We
a
did.
few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did it?
Mint chip is a good one.
Yeah, the mint chip was like everybody's favorite. You know?
Butter pecan's good.
Yeah. But the mint chip, like, you open it, you might as well take the whole carton with you.
Yeah.
Like,
And maybe you do.
The good thing is, like in my house, I'm pretty much the only one that likes the mint chip.
oh, really?
I'm the only one that likes tomatoes, so I'm like cherry tomatoes, big tomatoes, whatever. I don't have to share those. It's kind of sweet,
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know that. Well, obviously, Bryce will make anything. Hey, Doug, can I have some of that? Yeah, sure. No, that's gone. So, having a growing teenage boy has been great.
We made smash burgers last night on our new
Oh.
grill we finally got. Because we got a half griddle and half grill combination deal.
Mhm.
So we had to oil the stone and all that kind of
Good.
crap, Turned out really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's real happy. We had Evan and Kaylee over for supper, and so it was a pretty good spread.
Yeah, you got the flat top part, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great for burgers if you got one of those, which you have one and never use it.
Yeah, I need to clean it. The problem is that it kind of got rained on and got a little bit
Yeah.
rusty, and
You gotta
I will clean it off and re-season it and all that. But good for burgers, great for bacon,
Yeah.
eggs.
That's what I've been
pancakes,
wanting to do, is try doing that out there. We're making fajitas on there would be kind of good.
fajitas.
I've never done that, so.
Yeah, I used to do chicken and fajitas on it, and we loved it. It's one of those that like once it got gone, like once it started to rust, I just I gotta season it, and then went further along, and I was like, yeah, gotta do this one day. And it sucks.
But you both made like wings before, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I never have. Now we went over for a Super Bowl, or his playoff game, I think, over to Todd and his wife out in
Okay,
Minnesota.
yeah.
And he made them and he cooked them on the grill. I mean, didn't do anything fancy with them, but it was fantastic,
Right.
And so I ended up buying a bag of frozen wings,
Right.
with bone in, bone
But,
in.
yeah.
So they're still in the freezer.
Yeah.
So, I need some help getting motivated and knowing how to do it
Well, I
right,
think the biggest part for you is like you're working so late,
Yeah.
or just you and the wife are like, well, I'm not fixing all that just for us.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like,
What's the best way to, you guys use your smoker when you do it, or have you done it on the grill?
I've done it on the grill. I'll usually use the smoker and whatever seasoning mix you're using,
Yeah.
use baking soda in it.
Okay.
And it makes them crisp up a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, just super slow.
Honestly,
Slow
for-
heat for a long period of time, or?
It doesn't take long. I think I usually do them 225 for,
20 minutes probably.
I was doing like 45 minutes or so.
Maybe I cooked mine higher than.
Because I want to make sure that they cook all the way through. I'm
Yeah.
kind of worried about chicken.
But-
Yeah.
For a wing, it's mainly how you season it and
Season
finish
it.
it.
Oh.
Honestly, that's 90% of your battle. Like you put on the sauce if you're doing a saucy one
Mhm.
too early, when the sauce dries out.
Yeah.
You put it on too late, then it's like not cooked well enough.
I'd rather have like a dry wing and then
Right.
dip
Yeah, right.
into what I want,
Yeah,
That's-
most people are that way. I prefer mine saucy, so if I do it, I do half and half. People can choose.
Yeah.
But
Are you a blue cheese guy or a ranch guy?
The ranch.
I'm a ranch guy. I've never been a blue cheese. My dad likes blue cheese, but
honestly, never used to use hardly anything. I'd eat everything plain, and then my wife, when I met her, was like,
Puts her into
"You're weird."
everything.
you're weird. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you are.
I mean,
Yeah.
so the first time, like, we were together 4 or 5 months maybe, she cooks up pizza rolls and gets this big old thing of ranch out there, dipping them in there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's what? I can't eat pizza rolls without it now.
Boy. So what did you used to do before? Just eat them plain, or
Oh, yeah.
or did you get ketchup? Like,
Oh, no.
We do sour cream too.
Sour cream?
Yeah.
On
Pizza rolls?
no,
yeah.
no.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'd be like, especially if you had like Mexican.
I don't
It'd be
know.
like a taco almost. I mean, yeah, I can see that.
That's pretty good. But no, that's one thing. Hanging out with you that I've learned is like if we're cooking out, we gotta get the ranch out because Becca's gonna put it on something. Like it's just better to have it out.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, like, the downfall to having her as my wife is, like, I cook this great steak,
Oh,
and she's got to put steak sauce or ranch on it. Like, you might as well just eat a pork chop.
Yeah, I won't. I don't know. I won't put anything on a steak if it's cooked right. You know what I mean?
You have to. Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten a few. It's like, okay. After I take a couple bites, like, yeah, this is not. It's all.
Yeah.
Well,
something.
if
Yeah.
it sounds like a brick when it hits your plate, yeah, you just probably get something out. But if it's nice and tender and juicy,
Mm-hmm.
nah, the steak should be good enough, you know.
You know, my wife makes some killer pork chops every night, on the grill, marinated and pounded them out.
Right.
And they're thick cut. I mean, they're like not like that big. I mean, they look like pork steaks are so big that they weren't. Yeah, they're off the hook. But
Yeah. All right, so I have it in here to interview you for like some questions,
Oh, boy.
just on some stuff. So honestly, we've done it throughout the episode.
yeah,
Yeah, we kind of have
You know,
that.
we don't have to spend too much time on it, but basically, I already know the story, but you know, not everybody does. What got you to go out on your own to start your own business, especially in this amazing state that
Of
just
Illinois?
taxes the fuck out of you?
Well, I am from Iowa originally. Did all my roofing career up until I was 40 up there.
But
Moved down here to get out of roofing. Okay. So,
that worked out well.
yeah, well, yeah, my best friend / brother, he was working at a quarry, and he jawed on me for quite a while there to come work with him, and so that's when I moved down here. That's what I went and did for about 11 months, and heavy equipment operating. And it was cool to learn something else. But long story short, I met Alicia, and I think I might have saw one baseball game of the boys that summer, and I was like, gotta do something different. And so, I said to Alicia, I was like, well, I said, I can go get a job at the hammer factory or whatever. And she was, oh, you won't be happy there, do something that makes you happy. And I'm like, well, all I know is roofing. So, there, 2014 got my license and bingo bango, yeah. Started off just myself and my son, my biological son, and he moved down here for a very brief amount of time, and it wasn't for him, so let's keep on.
And I would have met you. Was it 2014 when I met you, or 2015?
Oh, you were driving a black Ford with a half ladder rack on it. So what year was
That
that?
was the good days.
You were humping at one of the games, and
Yeah, that's when we met.
I asked you something, and you're like, huh? They talked funny, and
I had one hearing aid at the time.
yeah, so I was like, I didn't know
Yeah.
that you were deaf at that point, but
Yeah.
so you were probably
2014 probably.
it had to be.
So
Yeah.
shortly after you started.
Yeah. So how old were you in 2014? 11 years
22.
ago? No, 22. Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm the young one of the group.
Yeah.
Got more gray hair than you, and not
Nah,
much as you.
Mine's just receding instead of going gray.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, but yeah, I mean, roofing's what I knew,
Yeah.
and I really didn't have a choice. I
Right.
mean, that's it.
So I remember when I was running my business, I thought I was a good roofer. He was like, yeah, I'm good, and he's like, oh, I could use some help on some roofs. So I go helping. I don't know what he needed my help with because he was like so
ran
good.
circles around you.
Like, I don't know shit about nothing here. I don't know what I'm doing. And, one of the best things you taught me, and I preach it to everybody I can talk to, is knowing when to leave your ego. Obviously, as a young kid, and still today I have one, but I know when I can use it, when I can't, kind of thing.
Right.
And basically, like, leave your ego at the ladder. Don't bring it up here with you. I'm like, I'm going to show this guy everything about roofing. And I went up there and he had a hammer and nail, and I had a nail gun.
Yeah.
And he beat me.
Nice.
Like, So I try to move out of the way, but get back down here, keep working, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I remember when I was up in Iowa, he was doing a job with that. I remember, like, what do you want me here for? Well, I just need some help. I'm like, do you though?
With what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where our relationship kind of really took off.
Yeah, and it's steadily grown over time, and
Right.
I've tried to have Devin come work for me when he was much younger. After that house got hit with that tornado over there,
in
Good
Good
Hope,
Hope,
I
yeah.
offered him a job then, and
That thing was huge.
yeah, he should have been. But yeah, over the years, I mean, how he's ended up here now, I mean, he's gone through a few different stages in his life, and in between, when he was deciding exactly what he wanted to do, I'd be like, yeah, come on, you know,
Yeah.
put him to work. And sometimes it was comical, sometimes it was real helpful, you know, depending on the job.
Old Nate in the bucket.
You know, yeah.
So there was one day we go, and this is if I was out of town for a known guy around here. And we go in there one day and we just freaking bust ass and kill it.
Yeah.
Next day I couldn't even move. Like I'm trying to, like lose a shot and everything. And
Yeah. Well, we tore off like, I don't know, 40, 45 square, prepped it, and then I had him and another guy put on like 20 square on the back of the house, and while I was putting all these big solar skylights in, it took an immense amount of time. Yeah, next day he comes in, yeah, he couldn't even bend. He was like pretty much worthless at that point. It's like, go on the garage,
yeah, so they
Go
put
work.
me over this, like, what, 4 or 5 square section.
maybe that, yeah.
And, like, if you can get this done today, that'd be great.
Nice.
I didn't.
Did you?
No. No, we roofed in the other half of the house, and as it's like, all right, we finally came over and bailed him out, you know. It's like, just
Yeah,
walk around.
I hurt
run
so
around.
bad. I just remember being like, everything hurt.
Yeah.
I could walk right for like 2 weeks.
Damn.
Like, this isn't gonna be my thing, you know.
This isn't for me. Yeah.
But I mean, I did good that first day.
You did,
I
you
felt good about it. I mean, we as a team did
Yeah.
really well.
And that barn we did, you did good. and then Macomb, and then got to a certain point, and that's where the water jug is.
Yeah.
You know, he's guarding the water jug basically. For the rest of the day, it was freaking. It was like it was now. It's
Yeah.
freaking hot.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Get away from the water.
Right.
But you know, when somebody doesn't do it every day, you don't. Your muscles aren't acclimated. Your body's not acclimated to it.
Oh, yeah.
So you can be in the best physical, you know, position of your life or whatever, but you come in and do some roughing. If you don't do it, you're going to know it. I mean, Ethan, prime example, my son. I mean, he's just a physical stud. And his first day after coming home, you know, they had to stock the roof and do some other things, and he's like, "Man, there's a big difference from being weight strong to work strong."
Oh yeah.
I mean, and that made me happy for him to realize that. It's like, because, you know, he's always very self-confident, we'll just put it that way, and
Mm-hmm.
for him to be humbled a little bit it's a good thing. And so,
One of my favorite stories to tell. So we're doing the trip in Iowa over in Walcott, and we're stopping the it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one bundle at a time, and he's getting whammy. A bundle in each hand. I mean, he didn't carry it, but took it off the pallet, turned around, and stacked them on the roof.
Damn.
And at that point, I'm like, I'm just gonna stand over here.
Right, I'm just gonna move out of the way.
And he's like, let's go. I'm like, you're in the way. Like, you're doing everything. You're, you know,
Yeah.
and just.
I was literally 85 pounds lighter than I am now.
Well,
So I
I
was
mean-
in extremely good shape then.
I mean,
now
yeah,
I have shit.
Yeah, it was before, you know, the retirement age has hit you.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, all the extra surgery. But no, that was the animal that I went to work with. I'm like, and I learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
And two jobs, I was like, geez, like, I didn't know how I was, you know, I wasn't trained properly. I wasn't, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
you know.
Talking to it.
But yeah, you know, so you find out like, man, some guys just have the it factor, and some guys don't.
Right.
And I worked with guys I thought were the it factor, and until I worked with them, I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
like, you know,
This is it. Yeah.
We got a couple guys working for us now that have the it factor as far as the physicality, the hustle,
Right.
the natural ability, or the mental fortitude to do it.
yeah.
Not going to name names, they know who they are, you know, but, and they're all, everybody here, not everybody, you can't have a team all stars. I mean,
Right.
yeah, everybody plays their position well.
Yeah,
you know,
we have
so.
got a team of quarterbacks,
Yeah,
but
right.
look out very well.
No.
You know. What were they thinking for this week?
This killed me.
Arkansas baseball. So what happened is last week we talked about a kid that threw the first no hitter,
Oh,
the third no hitter in World Series history
Okay.
for college.
okay.
Yeah.
I
And
think I might have saw something on that.
and then Arkansas ended up losing to LSU, and like you wouldn't call it heartbreaking, but it's just stupid fashion. So many errors.
There's
No.
so much that happened, and
And what,
everybody,
pitches?
everybody talks about the outfielder,
Right.
right? Which was part of it, but there's so much that happened those last three batters that it's like, it hurt me to watch. For somebody that's played baseball, for somebody that's coached baseball, it's just like, oh God, you had so many chances to get out of this game. And so the first one, so it's 5-3. Arkansas is up on LSU. It's the bottom of the ninth. They just got to put them down. They have one out. There's a runner on first and second. Batter loops it towards third. Shortstop grounds it, flips it to third instead of turning the double play, which would have ended the game. You know, easy double play would have ended the game.
Game awareness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just flips it to third. So right there, kind of turns it. Next batter comes up, hits one deep. Left fielder goes to get it, misses his glove, bounces behind him.
He dove for it.
Yeah, dove for it.
I mean,
Two
was that
runs.
the right play to dive for it?
Yeah.
It was. He just missed it, and I mean, it was just barely. And this kid afterwards, the outfielder, you know, he's crying. Everybody's picking him up. He got the brunt of everything on social media, but bounces behind him, 2 runs score. Now you got a 5-5 game that you should have been out of already. The next batter comes up, and he line drives one and goes right off the top of the second baseman's glove. Running score comes in, 6-5 win, game over.
Oh my God.
And it's like any one of those plays could have ended the game.
Yeah.
And it's all stuff that you see, you know, in 10U, 12U that
Right.
we coach, but at the college level, in the College World Series, it's like, oh man,
Don't
Right.
expect to see that.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it's one of those like, well, what's the third base or the shortstop thinking? You know, do you dive in that situation? Like, I get it, it's a big moment, but
Or do you keep the ball in
keep
front
the
of you?
ball in front of you.
Right.
Like, no run scores.
That's
You know,
yeah.
like
I mean, you want to give it to him because if he had caught it, they would have been
Oh,
the third out.
right, yeah, and then he's a hero.
Right, and then he's a hero. But at the same time, do you knock that ball in or just get it into your cutoff?
Right.
You know, I just
Yeah, it's a tough one because you know the competitor in you. I'm
to
old,
make the play.
you know.
yeah, you're trying to catch up.
You know, but it's like, man, we got 2 runs to play with. We're up by 2. You know,
Yeah.
keep it in front of me, live in front of the batter, you know, kind of thing. And obviously he went for it and ended up tying the game on it. That's third one off the tip of the glove. That was just bad positioning, really.
Right, and that's all of those are hard, you know. And I think, like I said, everybody on social media wants to rip on the outfielder, but it was truly a team effort at the end of that game. Because you've got a pitcher who can't put somebody down.
Right.
You know, you've got a shortstop that has no game awareness, flips it to third. You've got an outfielder that went for the win and it failed, and you've got a second baseman that positioned himself wrong. It's a whole team collapse.
Right.
You know.
So should you, when the pitcher started struggling, I mean, should they have pulled him?
Well, he only threw.
Or was he a reliever already?
He was a reliever.
Okay.
I feel like
He didn't pitch any before, though, did he?
I don't think
I
so.
think he only threw like 12 pitches.
But I think
It wasn't a whole lot. Because of 3 batters in a row, it was maybe 2 each of them. You know, it wasn't. I don't think it was a whole lot.
watching those 3 batters with those back-to-back plays, at the very least, you might have called a mound visit and been like, "Whoa, this is getting away from
Change
us."
the face of the game a little bit.
Right. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really, I don't think you can pinpoint it to one person, obviously, like you said. The left fielder is getting a lot of the hope on social media because, oh, wouldn't a smart play? But it's like, it's the World Series for college.
Right.
It's a big moment.
You know, that,
competitor, you know.
yeah, I don't think anybody, unless you've walked in those same shoes, should be throwing any shade on the guy.
Yeah.
Because it's, I mean, and that applies to any aspect of this world. It'd be me coming in to criticize what type of treatment you gave me for my illness, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you know, how about I,
But
have more information before I open my freaking mouth. You know?
Right.
I don't know. I just,
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, that's true.
yeah, that's,
More people that way, we'd be better off.
so it all really stemmed from, you said the shortstop?
I think so, and I mean you can kind of get it. It's a big game. He fields the ball. He probably saw third base right in front of him, flips it for the easy out. I mean, you can't
I don't
truly
think he
fault
got
the
to
guy. I don't know that they were returned to.
Yeah, he's going to third.
Did he get the out?
Yeah, he got
Okay,
the out.
okay.
So it's not like he just held the ball or made a bad decision. You just wonder if he could have turned to.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and he just, I mean, he didn't look to turn to. He just, the ball was taken that way, and he just, that's the way he played it, Which, going away from second, then have to spin and get it.
Yeah.
I don't know that he gets it anyway, No, and I don't know that the guy tried that earlier in the game and they didn't get it, and that's why he went that route. No, I'm gonna get the lead runner for sure.
I mean, I've never coached baseball. I mean, you guys both have. I mean, you guys have any discussion on what, I mean, things you want them to do or think about, or you just trust the fact of all the practice you had and that's that?
Well, so I think there's a big thing with overcoaching. Like in the moment, especially in a moment like that, you don't want to get in their head too much. You kind of want to let them get a feel of the game. But one thing I've always tried to tell my players, and you probably have too, is like when they're getting ready to pitch, I want you to think, if he hits the ball to me, if that comes my way, what am I doing with this?
Yeah.
Just that team awareness, because you have time. The pitcher's going through a stretch, he's got to throw it, the batter's got to hit it. Like, if this comes to me right now, what am I doing with it? And again, you're up by 2 runs, like you said, you flip it, you get the lead runner, that's your second out. Most games, you're probably in a good position.
Right.
So,
And I know, just the game the other night, we were playing a tight game. We had 2 on, guy, where are you going with the ball? Every one of you needs to know where you're going with the ball, and then just say it out loud. I'm not asking for them to tell me, just, oh shit,
Yeah,
give it
think
to me.
about it, yeah.
At the college level, I would expect you to have to ask that question. They should know.
right.
As a coach, hey, you got 1 out on a tricky play. You probably weren't going to get second anyway. Just a win. That's why the left fielder get 2. And I was like, just let the ball drop. Odds are he doesn't score because it was mid. It was mid outfield. It wasn't
It was,
super deep.
Yeah, I think you could have made the throw.
Yeah, get throw on the
there.
runner. Yeah, I think somebody who played outfield in high school, that's what I would have done. I would let it drop and just fire the ball in and then for the next batter, Especially the location of where you would have died for. The center fielder went over there. Again, no backup.
Right.
It was a long run to get that ball after it bounced.
All right. Follow us on all socials, right?
New episode drops Wednesday. Thanks Andy for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Until next time.
It's garage time.